Welcome back to another episode of the Bangin podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Cotter, and tonight I have a pretty cool one lined up. I have a guy named Hav. He is the owner of HTX Tactical, and dude has a legit awesome story, which we'll cover all of that. So, and he is perfectly on time. None of my other guests ever show up this early. It's awesome. So he should be popping in here any second.
Yeah,
What's up, dude?
what's going on?
Oh, not much, brother. How are you?
I'm chilling, man.
That's a hell of a backdrop right there.
It is, right? This is how I think heaven looks, so,
Yeah, yeah. If heaven looks like that, I'm in, bro.
right? Sign me up.
For real, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here.
So, for those who don't know, introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, my name is Javier Garcia from Houston. As you can see, I'm in my gun shop right now. We literally just closed up. We closed at 7. And, yeah, I'm a B-boy. I'm a performer, so that was my first career. And I kind of just semi-retired-ish from that. Been doing it for a very long time.
You say semi-retire. I see you still do it. I mean, you were doing it recently.
Well, the most recent thing I did, I actually went to Qatar, or other people call it Cater, for some cultural ambassador work for America. And so that was actually probably almost a year ago, this past November.
That's crazy, man. So how did you get into being a b-boy?
Yeah, man, I had so much energy growing up, and I kind of tried to figure out what I wanted to do. You know, obviously growing up, I love martial arts, you know, watching Bruce Lee movies and whatnot. And then I just saw some guys breaking. I'm like, I'm going to go do that. So I just locked myself up, taught myself how to do it, and then just became a B-boy. And then from being a B-boy, turned into being a performer, and then putting a lot of pieces together, then having a show, and then getting into the entertainment industry, getting an agent, and then just touring the world.
That's insane, dude. How long did you do that? When did you start?
Whew, like late 90s. Yeah, probably around 97-ish. Yeah, I've been
Holy shit.
a long time.
That's insanity.
I think
So,
that
what'd you say?
I think that's why I still look young.
Right? So you get into it in 97, right?
Right.
So obviously you were very successful at it. I mean, you toured for a very long time. On top of that, I mean, you're a cultural ambassador for the US. How did that come about?
Yeah, so again, you know, being in the performance arts industry, the entertainment industry, some guy got with our agent. They're like, hey, y'all would be a good group. Because not only did I do so all my shows were live performances. And so besides doing like an evening show, like you would go to like Wortham downtown to go see like the ballet or whatever music act comes. So we had our own show. And outside of that, we actually had some of the top hip hop outreach shows that we would do in all the schools across the nation, from elementary to universities. And so it wasn't like your typical old guy who would come out and be like, don't do drugs, guys, you know, or giving just like a boring speech. We would make it super fun and interactive. So we would use like hip hop, not just b-boying, but just hip hop in general. And just let me clarify, there's hip hop, and then you got commercial rap, like, you know, the chains and girls and videos and money. So in our culture, the hip hop culture makes up 4 elements. So the 4 elements that make up the hip hop culture is b-boying, which I'm a breaker, b-boying or b-girling, the DJ, the guy who spins the music on the turntables, the MC, which is the rapper, and then the graffiti writer, which is the graffiti artist. So once you put those 4 elements together, you make up the hip hop culture. And now Houston, we have a very rich hip hop culture. So, you know, a lot of people say underground, but it's worldwide. It's been worldwide for a very long time. It's going to be the Olympics next year. So that's how far b-boying, you know, went. We're probably the
Holy
last
shit.
element in the hip hop culture to really start making money. Obviously the DJs and the rappers were the first 2 who were making some really good money. And then you got your graffiti artists who were doing like just artwork for everybody else. And then now the b-boying and b-girl and breaking, now we're on a level to where I got a lot of friends who are sponsored by Red Bull, Monster Energy. Now it's the Olympics, and sponsored by, you know, a variety of other companies. But yeah, to get back to how did I become a culture ambassador for America, I've probably been an ambassador for about the last 10 years of my career. They just saw like a quick performance of ours. They're like, man, y'all would be great. So when we went out there, the show that we put together for this is fucking amazing. And not only that, but we did like a culture exchange. So within our show, we would get with all the other hip hop heads in those countries, and we would bring them in and have them do a piece into our show. Our the way it works. So say I go to, like, when I went to Qatar, first day I'll get up early in the morning. I'll go to do some big TV shows out there. Whatever the biggest TV show stations that are live shows, we'll go out there. We'll do our thing. We'll do talking in universities. Then we'll do some workshops where we'll teach them, different levels. And then we'll do our practice, and then we'll do our performance. And that was kind of our daily schedule. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Like, for instance, one of our biggest ones that we did, if everybody knows about the Armenia and Azerbaijan thing going on, I know just recently the gun culture, probably last year, they were reposting videos of like Azerbaijan and Armenia. So they meet in the south, and that's where they're going to war at. So they're trying to take the land from each other. So you got Armenia, you got the Republic of Georgia, and then you got Azerbaijan over here. So they've been going to war for a very long time, and it actually picked up, about a year or two ago, where it just started getting really crazy. And so what we did with that, for instance, so I went to Armenia first. We stayed there for a week. We taught workshops, TV shows. We picked the best 10 performers, dancers that country offered. We did that in the Republic of Georgia. We did that in Azerbaijan. So we had about 30 students, right? So we came back to America. The United States, they rented out a whole resort on the Black Sea. We brought all 30 contestants in. So we taught them this whole entire choreography, performance, all that. We put it into our show. And then we met in the Republic of Georgia, which is the neutral country. And then we had a bunch of ambassadors from all the countries come out and do that. And then once we did that, so basically what we're showing is like, and what the history of the hip hop culture is, a lot of it came from the hoods, right? Where there was no money, you couldn't buy whatever you wanted. So we found an outlet using our hip hop skills. And instead of like, gangs fighting, we would battle each other. It was pretty aggressive, right? But we're showing them, and it's unity. So that's what hip hop pretty much stands for. It's just a unity. No matter where you're from, your culture, your religion, your ethnicity, we all can come together under the umbrella of hip hop. And so and it turned out pretty good. I guess obviously it's not going to change politics. It's a different. Yeah. I mean, you're in the gun culture, so you know how it is with politics and what we do. So there's levels to this. But, that's pretty much what we do as a culture ambassador for America.
That's pretty badass, man. I mean, you get to travel the world, you get to make an impact. I mean, that's pretty big. And you get to do cool shit along the way.
Yeah, 100%, man. I've done some amazing things I've never thought I would ever do in my life. I mean, I got letters from presidents, ambassadors. I've been to places where you don't even know existed. I mean, it's pretty dope.
That's pretty badass, man. So you do that obviously for, I mean, majority of your life since '97.
For sure.
How did you get into the gun community?
Yeah, so I had to start putting a plan into place. Being a B-boy, we train just like athletes. Our time span is just like athletes. We train hard as fuck, try to be healthy as we can. And the acrobatic moves that we do are pretty crazy on the body, right? And so I'm like, man, what am I going to do with my life, my career after I do this? Because it's like anybody who does something they love, especially when it comes to sports, whether you're an NBA player, NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever the case may be, you love it so much and you're so good at it, but you're like, what am I going to do when I'm done? Like, this is what I know. This is who I am. So I started getting into the firearms. I started just getting on Instagram, right? That's how I kind of saw everything. I was like, oh, there's a whole culture here, like, of firearms. And so got into that. I did an Instagram, and then it actually started picking up. This was before HTX Tactical, before I even knew I was going to do a gun store. And I started sponsors, people started sending me shit. And there was a guy I was doing it with who I knew from back in the days here. He was a Army vet, but he just couldn't get his shit together. some issues arise, so I just cut that off. And then in the midst of that, I had met George, my business partner now. He
Yeah.
had tactical, but he was doing gun shows, so he was selling little small parts here and there. And so when that happened, I was like, I came up with a whole game plan when I went home. I was like, look, George, if we become business partners, I will take this shit to the next level. I got this whole game plan that's never been done in the gun industry at that time, which was about 6 years ago. And then with the connections I have coming from, the hip hop culture, performance area, and then be able to add that, because doing live shows, you got to be professional. You got to be able to handle your shit. If not, you're going to tank. And so be able to bring that professional knowledge of performing and running a business, because I have my own company called Soul Street, which is where our performances came from. And so that's my company. And
That's
so
great.
I have the business aspect of that, doing that, and then everything that I told them came to fruition, right? And so here we are today, 5-6 years later, with HTX Tactical. And at that time, I would go around and I was like, man, I want a custom gun, especially here in Houston, and nobody could do it how I wanted it. I was like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna do it myself. And so I was like, I want to be my own manufacturing facility in the back. Obviously, we got you've been here. We got CNC machines, Cerakote, and great. All that. And then just be able to tie that on a professional level. And that's the key, right? Because now within the last maybe 2-3 years, you see, and it's a beautiful thing having a bunch of different cultures coming in, represent 2As, but there's a lot of people, maybe I wouldn't call them hip hop, but like from the urban area, get into the gun culture, but there's not enough professionalism there, right? So I knew from my background and being a professional do that, I was able to, bridge that gap and do it on a professional level to where you can get both sides. Obviously, there's some people who aren't going to like it and some who don't, but at the end of the day, it's still.
That's insane, man. So this whole thing started as just an idea in your head, and you find a partner, and now you build, in my opinion, one of the most recognizable brands in the firearms industry, especially in the entertainment side, right? Y'all do some of the craziest customizations of guns I've ever seen. All the way from crazy Gucci'd out Glocks to 100% hand engraved gold AK-47s.
Yeah, if you see that one right there, that's a full custom build. AK-74 SBR, got the Dead Air Wolverine on it, fully engraved. That thing's pretty badass. It's a 545 as well, 74. So, it's a fun gun. And we'll bring it out in that Clash Bash. And we got some, we're going to bring a little Gucci out, full auto micro Draco. So I got an SOT license, manufacturer license. I made sure when I did this, I was going to do it 100%. Because anything that I do, especially like, I really never worked for anybody. I worked for myself, pretty much coming from high school. So, and that's how I've always been. So I know my mindset and how I work, I'm gonna do it at the highest level, and so that's kind of why we're taking off now. You see who comes there, every UFC fighter.
I know.
Shaq. Anybody and everybody you can think of.
I think just about every single notoriety inducing celebrity buys their guns from you.
This is true. Some I can't even mention, but it's all good.
Yeah, I know, it's nuts. We've talked about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You have, and now you say like, you're the first of your kind. You really are the first gun shop to operate this way, where you're high end, but also cater to everyday people that, I've been in there multiple times where it's literally just everyday people walking in there buying guns. But then you also have this upper echelon of customer that comes in and does all the, the high end guns, and there's celebrities, and y'all do big shows, and y'all have special guests who are, just super famous people. And you're able to balance that, better than anybody in the industry. But I don't think there's anyone else doing it. I haven't seen it.
No, obviously when I started a couple of years later, you got a lot of people who obviously copy our, what we're trying to do. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm the shit or anything, but like the key of my background and the professionalism of being a performer for 20 plus years, 2 decades, and knowing the history of hip hop and living it, and then doing all my research that I needed to do to be able to understand the gun industry and everything that has involved that, to be able to bridge that gap. So, yeah, I would just say, well, I knew that because even when I started, I'm like, I'm not going to try to compete with all your other gun shops. You know, this is Texas, so there's probably one on every corner, every street, right? But all of them are, I'm your typical military background or whatever the case may be. And I wasn't trying to compete with that because at the end of the day, that's not me. That's not me. I'm Hob. I'm a b-boy. I'm a performer. That's my background. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you found a niche and you exploited it to the absolute perfect level, to the point where I don't think it can be replicated. I really don't. I don't think there will be another company come in and be able to connect with all walks of life and also have the ability to put out the content that y'all do, even though Instagram hates you guys with a passion.
Well, this is our new page now because you remember we used to have another one which was a humongous page, and if you see who follows us on that, I mean everybody and their mama follow that page.
Yeah, we're on, I think, your page right now.
This is my page?
Yeah, this is your page.
Oh shit, I thought this was the backup HTX Tactical TV. It's not?
No, this is yours.
Oh shit.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we roll, baby. It's all gonna go on the podcast platform anyway, so you'll be able to share it on the HTX page.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that all this started with you traveling the world and trying to bring different countries together and doing what you do, and then meeting a guy who already had a gun store and just being like, "Hey, man, check this shit out."
Have a gun store.
Oh yeah.
Set up at like gun shows.
Okay, so he just had a name.
Yeah, if I needed something, I would meet him like at a parking lot of Walmart and be like, "Hey, I need a scope." So he would like there was no store or anything. So that's why when I knew that, like to me the name was dope, HTX Tactical, right? And then the logo with the Astrodome in it, you can some people will catch it, some won't. And I knew like right when I saw it, I was like, bro, I can make this shit fucking humongous.
And you did. I mean, y'all did a great job.
Like we have an awesome team here. Obviously, you'll see me in the forefront, just kind of being the brains behind everything. But we do got an awesome team from even our Cerakoter. Like he's a well-known graffiti artist. And when I told him I was doing this, I was like, and he was out actually in Vegas working, and I was doing shot, and I linked up with him. I was like, look, bro, I got this plan. I go, I already know you're a fucking dope ass artist. Like I know you can paint. All you got to do is learn how to bake on Cerakote. And so obviously we sent them to Cerakote school. We got our, plaque and all that good shit. And then even our machinists, like if you look at some of the craziest shit that we've done, from get the T-Pain mic slide, when you saw that crazy ass thing, we did one for the Green Ranger from the Power Rangers where we machined the flute sword in the slide. Like those are next level shit that obviously it's fucking tough to do. I mean, everybody does slide cuts, ports, and optic cuts, but whenever you're machining like stuff into the slide, that's next level shit for sure.
Yeah, and you walked me through
that and stencil all those little small. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you walked me through the back of the shop and showed me some of the stuff back there, and some of the guns that y'all are doing, I've never seen anybody do stuff like that before. Yeah,
for sure, man. What's dope is like, we're just creative people first and foremost. It doesn't matter if we're hip hop, gun industry, 2A, whatever. We're just creative people. And so whenever you can get some crazy creative people to come together and to be able to use their skills and talents to bring a product to life, it's fucking awesome.
No, it's great. And I mean, y'all created a brand that is, I mean, it's noticeable by everyone. For instance, SHOT Show. When y'all are walking around SHOT Show as a crew, like I notice walking with you guys that every single person tries to get y'all guys in there to show you something, because they know if you put your touch on it, it's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's the thing with me too. Like I'm a really picky person. Like I get offers all the time from people who are, instructors, or whatever the case may be. And I just I turn a lot of people down, doing things. And it's nothing against, who they are or whatever the case may be. It's just, I know what I've done on a professional level, and I can kind of see who does what. And so maybe if you're like a fucking SEAL or Beret or something like that, then like, he's been knee deep into shit. So I'll take some insight from him and shut the fuck up, and whatever you teach me, I'm a student, and let me be. But like, you have to do stuff at a super high level to have me involved. If not, it's just not worth my time.
No, 100%. And I mean, y'all not only do obviously cool guns and stuff, but y'all had an event recently that I was a part of,
Absolutely.
the HTX Tactical Range Day, and I did not realize how big that was going to be. I mean, I had no clue.
And it was that was our first event. We've talked about it for years to doing it, but we just haven't had time. So we linked up with, Tank from CMC. And he's like, hey, let's just do this range. And we're like, fuck it, let's do it. And so when I reached out to you guys and a few some other manufacturers, we didn't want to make it too big because it was just our first one. But man, close to 1,000 people came out. We had helicopters. We had NFL players shooting with contestants, and if you beat them, you got autographed jerseys and gave away guns. I mean, it was super fun. So we'll be planning another one next year.
It was bananas, man. It was not so. I expected it to be like a normal range. I've been to a bunch of range days, and usually, maybe 100, 150 people come out, whatever, and they're mainly already shooters, and they're just coming out to, hang out at the range. That was not what this was at all. I mean, like you said, 1,000 people showed up to this thing.
Yeah.
And majority of them, I mean, I don't think they were really gun people, because they were walking around, they were looking at it, and they were like, oh my God, this is so, you could see like they had never seen it before, So if they were newer gun people. And it was awesome to see something that awesome come together. And dude, we had like 700 and something people come to the Atlas booth and shoot Atlases. Where the hell do you do that?
It was fun. It was good, man. We enjoyed it. The team had a blast. I wore the wrong shoes that day. Like, my fucking big toes were hurting so bad for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bocces that I perform. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be comfortable. Da da da. I was like, yep, wrong move.
For real, man. I was actually jealous because I was working my booth, and all I was hearing at y'all's booth 2 ranges over was just a shit ton of full autos.
Yeah.
And every time, so it was like people showed up, they went my booth, and then they heard all the full autos, and they were like, yep, we're gonna come back. And they just would go shoot the full autos and then come back. And then I walked over there and saw the entire spread of shit that y'all. I mean, how many full autos did y'all have out there?
And we probably brought out about maybe 10, 15 full autos.
And they weren't normal, like just M4s. They weren't
like
regular
I said,
MP5s.
Anything that I'm going to be involved in personally, like, it's got to be like high level, or I just can't be a part of it.
Yeah, they were sick.
Like cocky, or like I'm better than no. If you know me, like, I'm super fucking down to person, like down to earth. I like to have fun. I'll talk to anybody, communicate, like do whatever. But if I'm doing something, it's got to be high level.
Oh yeah. Well, I got that message. So I can't wait for the next one. I'm excited. I'm going to bring more help though, so I can sneak around and shoot some full autos and shit.
You're going to bring the whole team out this time, right?
Yeah. So I already talked to them. We're going to bring the trailer. We're going to bring multiple setups. We're going to bring a bunch of people. I'll try to get, 3 to 4 other pro shooters out. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. We'll set up some type of shoot off or something. I mean, yeah. It'll be dope.
Yeah, if anybody from Atlas is watching, I still need my Atlas. Just want to put that out there.
They're listening to this. I'm telling you, they'll listen to it. We'll get it worked out. We need it. We need to get you to do some of your just sprinkle a little magic on one of them.
I'm ready when you are.
Hell yeah. We'll have to make that happen. So how long, you and George have been 6 years in the business, right?
Yeah, gonna be going on 6 years.
Going on 6 years. Okay. What was the first time where y'all kind of sat back and went, oh fuck, we made it?
I don't think it was a oh fuck we made it, but so just to give you a rundown, like our store wasn't always like this. We started in a 150 square foot office, $1,500 out of our own pocket. You had a call to make an appointment to even come and see us. We had a few parts, a couple guns. That was it. Then we actually, oh, somebody says, "Hey, what's up? You're down from the block." I thought they said block me. Yeah, so 150 square foot office. You had a call, and then we ended up doing with Chile. He was on 97.9 The Box at the time. We did some grips for him, which was cool. And then we actually linked up with Paul Wall while we were still in the office. And so Paul's like the first guy, man, stood behind us, repped us, pushed us. And we did a crazy ass custom gun for him. And then from there, it kind of started taking off, got a little bit bigger. And then we, even from the jump, like I always gave back. So, hurricanes happen. We had people come show up. We gave stuff away. We put money together. We would go out in trucks and like help people in the floods. We would do back to school drives. We would do toy drives. And we were doing this every year before we even made it big or even was making money. And so, but that was always something for me, even going back to the b-boying. Like when I go do these embassy trips, what's crazy is we'll go to these orphanages. We'll go to these refugee camps. And after we do this, we'll link back up with like the hip hop heads. They're like, "Oh, what'd you do today?" We're like, "Oh yeah, we went to this refugee camp." They're like, "What? We didn't know we had one in this country." So there's a lot, and, with politics, there's so much going on at a different level that the regular people don't know. It's a whole different. It's two different things. That's why I always, laugh and. When I see people, I'm left, I'm right, you're wrong, you're right, vice versa, right? And so I'm like, man, only if you motherfuckers knew how great you have it in America. I'm telling you right now, I've been to Haiti, I've been to Eastern European countries to where we haven't made it in America. Now, do we shit need to change here? 100%, right? We still need changes, but we still live in the best fucking country in the world. I'm not saying that because I'm a pro-American, I'm 2A industry. I'm saying that because I do this shit.
Like I have seen it.
Own eyes. Like I'm with the people. And so, yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
That's insane, man. So Paul Wall, obviously, HTown legend. I've been listening to that guy's music since he was with Swishahouse when I was in grade school.
Yeah.
And so he's the first, big celebrity y'all do a gun for. And obviously
first big one.
So now you've done it for like everybody.
Oh, yeah. Anybody and everybody you could think of.
Who's the one celebrity where you're like, I wish I could do a gun for that person? Do you have one on the bucket list?
I don't. And, I get that all the time too. It's like, oh, who's your favorite celebrity? Who's this and that? You got to remember, I come from the entertainment industry too.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing that they do. So whenever I'm around them, it's normal for me. It's regular for me. So I'm not like, oh, that's so-and-so. I'm here and there. It's like, I know what you go through because I do it. I'm a performer. That's what I've been doing my whole career, touring and doing shows. So when it comes to like celebrities and entertainers, it's just a kind of for me, again, it's a normal thing. So I don't see it as.
You don't get starstruck.
Yeah, I don't.
What's your favorite piece y'all have ever done?
Favorite piece? I would still think the Green Ranger gun that we did, just because the details and the machining, the flute sword and the slide, and the sword was part of the barrel, and like just the details that all the guys did to it, from the machining to the Cerakoting. Like, to me, that gun is still pretty insane. And what's funny is like, obviously our forte is custom guns, but my personal collection, I probably have a couple custom pieces, but majority of my stuff is like, again, I'm a quality or quantity guy, so I go for like the really good stuff, or like more of the historical things that are in my personal collection. So I don't have my personal collection is not like super humongous, but there's a lot of quality in there.
Yeah.
So I just like dope, nice shooting firearms that I could take out the box and run a gun where I don't have to change out triggers, sights, and do all this to get it to where it needs to be.
Hell yeah. So obviously y'all have the store now, and the store now is crazy. I
Yeah,
was in there the other day.
this is a story.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's a nice shop. And I remember when y'all were in, I don't know if it was the last one or maybe two before that, but y'all were in a much, much smaller store in a shopping center.
Yeah, so we started in the 150 square foot office, and then in that same building, they had like a 700 square foot space that had its actually own doors in this office building. And so we're like, yeah, we need that one if we want to keep growing. So we ended up moving into that one. And then when we did that, we're like, dang, so we got to get something bigger. So that's when we moved to the shop before this one, which is kind of down the street from where we're at now. And then we were there for a few years. And then we came to this location, and it didn't look like this. It was it was stuck in the 80s. There was like 10 rooms here. You could ceiling, old nasty dirty carpet. So we literally just knocked everything down to the complete studs, and then I had an idea how I wanted to do things, so we built it back up to how we wanted it.
Yeah, and that's only what people can see when they walk in. They don't know there's a big ass machine shop behind it.
Whole big shop in the back for sure.
Yeah, that Power Ranger gun, man, when you showed it to me, I was blown away. I couldn't believe I'd never seen somebody actually machine a sword into a slide so detailed. I wish we could show it. It was
It's on YouTube. It's on pictures. I mean, when I link up,
yeah.
I'll do some stuff. But yeah, man, that was a super dope piece. And obviously, like, we did some gold engraved guns for Shaq. Like, he carries two 1911s that are fully engraved, that are gold, that look like P238s in his hand.
How big is that guy in person?
Fucking humongous. Bro, he'll sit down and he's still taller than me. But what's crazy is, like, I didn't know Shaq back in the days, but I've run it a few times because also I was with the Houston Rockets for 10 years. I actually started Launch Crew, which is their entertainment team in the early 2000s. It was just a couple breakers, maybe some jump ropers and cheerleaders. And then we grew it to the #1 entertainment team in the NBA. So for like a period of 10 years, we would do all the NBA Europe, NBA Asia, every single All-Star game. Anything that involved the NBA, we were the go-to NBA squad to go perform and do all that. So that was part of, I was a part of that as well.
That's insane. Dude, that sounds like just an insane life. And you do all this, right? And you still do it. You say you're retired, but yeah, come on, retired. Yeah. But now, I mean, you're in a space where we're lacking entertainment, I feel like, in our space, in the firearms world. And it was awesome. That's when I first met you guys. I was like, see, this is what's missing. The soul of it, you know?
Yeah. And like, you hit the nail in the coffin, like soul. Like, my company was called Soul Street. When we dance, when you see every single song that's ever been part of our show, we have to fill in our souls before we even pick it out. We're just not going to go try to pick a song because it's the hot song out right now or whatever the case may be. You have to fill it in your soul to make you move, to make you groove, to make you want to perform. And
You
so,
have to.
yeah, and Soul Street was the biggest thing. So anything and everything I do, when I say at high level, it's still from the soul. I have to feel it in order to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and you see it. You see it in y'all's operation. You see it in the guns y'all make. You see it in the content y'all put out. Everything has that soul, and I think that's what separates. And is there any? Do you have like a goal on the horizon that you're like, okay, we need to like this is where we want to be, because
Yeah,
again, y'all are doing stuff that nobody else is doing.
obviously I've turned out a lot of big people, big names, worldwide famous people who wanted to invest, and I just turned them down because once somebody puts money in your pockets, they have control, or they might want to say something and they want to do that. And so, yeah, there were some big names that could help us push. Obviously we want to open multiple stores, not only in Texas, but some other states, because we just built a big big fan base, not just here in Houston, but like throughout the whole United States and even other countries, you know, around the world. You know, people ask us to ship shit all the time, but you know how that gets right now. Yeah, so, but yeah, I'm actually talking to a billionaire investor right now. We'll see how that goes. We're not even talking about M's, we're talking about B's.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like, you know, we didn't touch on that, but I have a proclamation in Houston, which is our own day in Houston, Soul Street. But don't let none of this fool you. Like me having this, like, yeah, this is cool, but it don't mean shit to me. I grew up fucked up. Like, you know, I don't know my dad, never seen him, don't know nothing about him. Had a poor childhood. You know, mom beat me. Then sometimes didn't have food on the table, and so all that built the character that I have now, wanting to have a better life and a better future and to build success and giving my daughter, which is a great kid, a whole different lifestyle, but still understand what hard work is and all that other good stuff, because I know how this world is. You know, I've been through the thick and thin of it all. And so, but man, I'm just saying that to say this, like something that you gotta work very hard at it, and you have to do 10 times more than anybody else if you want that success. And another thing, if you are going to come into this industry or any industry per se, you're going to get a lot of love, but you're also going to get a lot of hate. Especially the bigger you get, it's going to times 10 on both sides. I mean, look at anybody and everybody that's ever been famous on the history of this earth, whether it's the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Marilyns, I mean, the list can go on and on. You're going to have people who hate them. You're going to have people who love them. But if you do it with love and you build something of quality, and, you know, even if you like, we're not always perfect, but when something does happen, we'll make sure that we take care of it, fix it, learn from our mistakes, and move on. I mean, that's just a part of life. That's a part of business. And that's just how it goes.
That's something that not a lot of people understand. And every single successful person I talk to, and I get to meet a lot of successful people in my past and now in this industry. And the separator that I find with successful people and wanna be successful people is the ability to have that hustle and also the ability to not be shaken off of their tree whenever they're trying to achieve something.
Oh, yeah. Shit, my childhood built me for this. If I ever lived through that, this shit is fucking a breeze.
Yep, absolutely, man.
But it's a breeze compared to how I grew up.
Hell yeah. So the proclamation in Houston, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the proclamation, Mayor gave us our own day in Houston from just all the outreach that we've been doing, not only in Houston, United States, but many countries around the world, just pretty much recognized for that. So July 3rd, for the rest of our lives, it'll be Soul Street Day in the city of Houston.
That's insane. When did that happen?
Ooh, yeah, that happened a long time ago.
That's crazy. Right before July 4th. Well, we got to celebrate that shit, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
I was in Kazakhstan one time when we did some embassy stuff, and we were actually out there during July 3rd and 4th weekend. So we performed with the at the U.S. Embassy, and we celebrated our day, July 3rd, and then on July 4th, you know, with all the Americans that were in Kazakhstan and the embassy, you know, we did a performance for them. And funny story from that, if y'all want to hear it. So
we do.
We're doing this show. All the ambassadors, prime ministers from all the surrounding countries, from Poland, Kazakhstan, I mean, you name it, they're all at the U.S. Embassy celebrate 4th of July with us, right? So right before we go to Kazakhstan, I'm like, man, I need some new dancing shoes. I need some new B-boy shoes. So I go buy some Ultra Boost, some Adidas Ultra Boost. We're performing, mind you, I've never danced in those before. I just know they're lightweight and they feel comfortable because I've had some that I just, you know, move around in, but never danced in. So I'm doing a performance. I go and set up for a windmill. So for my windmill, it's the things where you see them spinning on the ground, going shoulder to shoulder, but spinning. And we move at a very high rate with a lot of strength behind it. So I start from the top. I do this, get on my hand, and I jump into windmills. Well, when I do that, my Ultra Boost comes off my heel, and then when I whip, my shoe just goes. I was like, oh my God, please don't hit nobody, please don't hit nobody. Bro, my shoe hit the Polish prime minister's wife in the chest. I'm still performing because it's a live performance. I can't do nothing about it, right? So I'm like, oh my God. And then all I see from the corner of my eye is 2 U.S. diplomats not carrying, but like have their arms with the Polish, his wife, just walking. Come to find out, well, obviously everybody's seen the George Bush thing where they throw a shoe at him, right? Everybody's seen that. Well, on the other side of the world, that means total disrespect when you throw a shoe at somebody. So she thinks Americans did it on purpose.
Oh no.
Bro, she thought we did it on purpose. I'm like, bro, it's my bad, bro. That motherfucker just shoot. Pow. Yeah, that was an interesting situation that I was a part of.
Did you get the shoe back?
I did get my shoe back, and
You
I was
kept
like,
that shoe, didn't you?
yeah, fuck these shoes. I threw them shits away right after the trip.
Oh, I would have kept the one that hit her. I mean, like, yeah, this hit the Polish president's wife in the tits.
Yeah, I might have it. I could swear I threw them away because, you know, you fuck up shoes real quick, you know, B1.
That's a crazy story, man.
Interesting story. And I have many other stories. For instance, I did Moldova, Eastern European country. Very small country, but like at the very tip top on the north, there's a little section where they think they're their own people with their own money, however that goes. So they put our posters up all around this town, you know, so forum, da-da-da. We have a speaking engagement at a university out there as well. And so 2 days before we go, the embassy comes up to us. They're like, hey, KGB is taking down all your posters. They're ripping them down, da-da-da. Cool, whatever. Don't bother me. We finally get there, speak at the university, bro. There's a shit ton of KGB in the audience just looking and seeing like what we're saying. But I'm so good at already talking and doing a shit ton of TV shows that, you know, I know how to divert the question because they'll try to throw some shit in there, especially like the reporters or whoever's doing the interview to deflect them. But I mean, it turned out good.
That's crazy.
Or even recently, a few years ago, I went to Malta. And Malta is like in the Mediterranean. It's right underneath Sicily, but above Africa, just right there. And what's crazy, I mean, it's a beautiful island, but over the centuries, you know, different empires from the Ottoman Empire, everybody's put their own stamp on it. So we get there, we do our performances and all that good shit. And there was a red alert. Embassy's hitting us up. Hey, da 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 da, this happened, bro. Somebody blew up this reporter car and killed her. And I have our video. It's on YouTube. And part of the video, you see like this candlelight on the ground. They actually did like a little visual for her, but they blew her up in a car. So they don't know if it was like the mafia from like Sicily or it was the politics who did it from that area. But her son he was in New York at the time and he flew in, but he wasn't in the car. He was like in his apartment. And Malta's like a 12-mile wide country. And that's it. The rest is just the Mediterranean Sea. But I mean, bro, I got so many stories from different trips, but I will say everywhere we've been has been fucking awesome. Not only us having like super long days, but like even just the people of the country, you know, wanted to hang out with us every night, take us out, you know, show culture, show us a lot of love. Even some of these poor countries try to give me like the shirts off their back. I'm like, nah, bro, you got it. Like, I appreciate it. But like just the love, because knowing our background, like Soul Street, you can kind of tell we came from a tough past as well. But to be able to perform and do that on a high level and do that, like these people understand you, like they feel it. They're like, you know, I see it, I understand. So for us to be able to change our lives, you know, through hip hop, you know, you can do the same as well. And so that's always kind of been the message, even like when we leave these countries, you know, the diplomats, even from those countries, like, and it's happened multiple times to where they start crying because we do it for love and, you know, going out with the people and like they know it comes from our hearts. And I think the dopest thing though of us doing this culture and ambassador work, not once, and I've done it under 3 presidents, Obama, Trump, and Biden. Not once have they ever said, you should say this, you should do this, don't, blah, blah, blah. They've always let me do my own thing.
That's awesome.
Always. Because they know it's real.
Yeah.
We're not there to play politics. We're not there, oh, this guy's good, this guy sucks, she's not. Man, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the people. We're here to uplift you. We're here to give you a good time, whether y'all going through some shit in your economy. So I think that was pretty super dope.
That's awesome, man. What's your favorite? What's your, I wouldn't say favorite, but what's the country that you went to where you're like, I got to come back here just on vacation?
And that's another thing. Like, that's probably the number one question I get asked my whole life. What is your favorite country? And it's hard to say. And I'm not even going by beauty, or because some of these are third world countries that we go to. So I'm not. It's the people, bro. Like, the love, the amount of love that they give us, like showing us, that we're giving them. So each one has like a different place in my heart. They're all so different. They all look so different. But, and I tell this to everybody, we all want the same fucking thing in this world. Don't matter your background, doesn't matter your ethnicity, it doesn't matter your religion. Bro, we all want to eat. We want a roof over our head. We want to be free people, and we want to be able to take care of our family and have good health.
Yep.
Everywhere. I don't give a fuck what you say. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've done it with my own body. Like, we all want the same thing. So,
That's awesome. That's incredible. That sounds like a hell of a journey, man.
and I've been to Muslim countries, multiple Muslim countries, where these people treat me amazing. Amazing. From feasts to taking us out, to buying us dinners, to giving us gifts, to, and not once has anybody ever tried to, change our views of whatever the case may be.
That's awesome.
And that's why even till this day, like, I'm a mixed person, right? I'm mixed with a bunch of different shit. I don't judge people on their ethnicity, religion, and their backgrounds. I judge them on their character, how you treat other people, how you talk to me. And so that's how I treat it. Because if you look at it, the people who fuck you over the most are probably going to be your family or people close to you, friends.
Yep.
And they're probably going to be the same ethnicity as you, the same religion as you. And so that's why, for me, having all the experience that I've had in my 40 years of life, yeah, man, I judge people on their character.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, 25 years
Yeah.
traveling the world, and I mean, you've seen a lot, and that's a good perspective. I mean, that's a perspective that a lot more people need, because you see a lot of people, quick to the trigger on a lot of stuff, especially in this industry.
Definitely in this industry. And that's why, I see it a lot. And I really don't even open my mouth when it comes to that. I don't think anybody's ever seen me post about politics or religion or any of that. I keep a lot of that to myself because it's a never-ending battle on social media. I'm doing shit in real life where I'm really changing. When I say millions and millions and millions and millions of people that I've helped, I don't know if we changed everybody's life, but at least we're in that position to do so. Like, I've been knee deep in this shit doing it versus me coming on social media. Hey, you should do this. You should vote for him. You should vote for her. You should live your life like this. You should do this. This is good. Bro, I've been doing this with the people.
Yep.
So, there's nothing you can tell me on social media that's going to try to persuade me or sway me to do like anything. And yeah, the only thing that you always hear me say is what I just told you. Literally. Yeah. That's all I say.
That's badass. I mean, this is a hell of a journey, man. I mean, you go from traveling the world and dancing and sharing hip hop artistry to owning one of the most influential brands in the gun industry. That's a crazy story, man. You just don't hear that often.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I always say, man, bro, if I ever literally just wrote down everything that I've been through, that I've seen, that I've done, bro, it'd be a fucking epic ass movie.
Hell yeah.
More now than back then. I can kind of reflect on some of the things that I've done with that because, that's really not my career anymore, per se. So I can kind of reflect because it just goes by so quick. But yeah, man, it I had a hell of a ride. You
Yeah,
know,
I
doing
mean,
I I was just doing it. You know, I'm not thinking, oh, I want to be so and so. I am the best. That's never saying I'm the best, but I've always worked hard to be one of the best.
yep. Well, I mean, sounds like y'all achieved it because, like I said, I mean, in the gun industry, you are the only ones doing what you're doing. I don't see anybody else. I've seen a few people attempt it, but they go away really quick. I mean, it's the people that make the product, not the other way around, 9 times out of 10.
100%. I mean, I've always been about hard work, being professional as I can, and I just enjoy quality things.
That's awesome. And
Obviously, part of the shop stuff in the shop we like. Obviously, there's some shit in here that I would never, ever, ever buy. But obviously, we're in a consumer-based industry, so we have to stock it just for that reason. But for the most part, even here, bro, we turn people down. Bro, don't get that. Or no, we shouldn't do that. Just like that video. I don't know if you saw me posted the other day with our gunsmith Lee, which is
mhm.
a Army Ranger. He's been knee deep in the shit as well, doing what he did. Somebody brought in this 1917 Colt revolver that shot a 45 ACP, not even long Colt. Like it was crazy. And like he wanted us to gold plate it and do all this other shit. We're like, nah, bro. Like we could have made some good money, but we're like, nah, like don't touch this gun. And like we're honest with the people. And another thing, like my transition from hip hop performing to this, obviously, like I said earlier in the podcast, like I grew up in the hood. That's where I'm from. I'm not ashamed of it. That's just I can't control who I was born from or where I had to live. That's just part of my journey. But knowing that, and as we all know, especially in the gun industry, there's a lot of guns in the hood, whether they're illegal or legal. But the biggest thing that's missing in the hood is education on firearms, right? And you see it all the time even when I post those random videos on Sunday, of people doing stupid shit or something funny. Like I've seen it with my own eyes, especially owning a gun shop. People coming in, how they handle firearms. We want to educate them on the spot. Like, hey, keep your finger off the trigger, point in a safe direction, make sure it's not loaded. The gun rules that we live by. And so that's something that we wanted to do, just kind of educate the mass. Obviously, not going to be able to everybody, but at least we can kind of do our part in that sense to educate.
Bro, some of those videos kill me.
Me
They're,
too.
they're so fucking funny. I don't know where do you find all those?
Bro, but let me put it this way. If I think it's funny to me or like, wow, I know majority of the people are going to like it. Just because obviously, again, going back to performing and because our shows, it was a mix of everything: comedy, dance, acting, theater. So it was a mixed show. It's just not up there everybody's just dancing for an hour and a half. No, that's not what it is. Like we put on a fucking show. And so whenever you understand how to not say control, but like have the audience like this, and knowing when the timing of a joke or what joke's going to work, or be able to freestyle it, or be able to understand that and do that not only to Americans, but like people in other countries who probably barely know English and still get the joke and laugh and do all that. And so, and me knowing that, and so if I think it's funny to me, I know majority of the people are going to think it's funny, or whatever the case may be. Again,
Yeah,
you can't everybody, but who gives a
still,
fuck?
still
Yeah.
super funny, super funny. And I mean, what's the craziest story you got out of the shop? What's the craziest thing encounter you've had with a customer?
Crazy encounter. Oh man. Well, I'll tell you this though. Not necessarily crazy encounter, but I thought being a performer and entertainer that I met some weird people in my life and some crazy people from everywhere. Bro, I've met more, I'll just say odd people come through this door than I've ever did in 25 years of performing. Just put it that way.
Jesus, any of them stand out? Any stories stand out? Somebody in particular? You don't have to name them or like tell it, like, but something just where you went. Are you serious?
Yeah, we say that amongst ourselves, not to them, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, probably leave you a bad Google review.
Bro, everybody's so quick to damn Google reviews nowadays.
Bro, yeah, nah. Bro, if you know me, like, bro, I joke, I have fun, I talk crazy. That's just part of me. You either like it or you don't. It's cool. There's another gun store down the street.
Yeah, especially in Texas, Jesus.
Yeah, no, for sure. But
But not one where you'll find shit like this though.
that is true. That is true. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of odd people out there. Just put it that way.
That's facts. That's facts.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, my gun's not loaded." Here, we always make sure we triple check everything, even if you tell us that. And what happens? Load around. So you've read our sign out the door, right, bro? Everybody posts it, and it's funny, but it's fucking true. It's like, don't do anything stupid, because your face is gonna be on a T-shirt, and your family's gonna be making barbecue plates at $12 to pay for your funeral.
Yeah, dude, that's a solid sign.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Again, we like to have fun, but be serious when we need to be.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, so I wanna do another one of these down the line because I feel like there's a lot more to cover in your story.
Yeah,
But
we'll sit down and, like, me and you, we'll talk here, and then I'll just tell you some stories. You can jot them down, and then we'll bring them back for the people.
yeah, hell yeah, man. I like it. So for people who don't know, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so we're in Houston, Texas. We're off at 290 and 610, 5401 Mitchelldale. I would say go to our Instagram page. Apparently, I thought I was on our Instagram page, but I guess I'm on a personal one. But it's HTX Tactical TV. Our main page was super big. They took down. But you got to beware. There's literally over 300 scam pages pretending to be us. Apparently, I got like 10 different aliases. I'm a Zeke Devon. I'm a fucking something. Like they're just using our content. They're literally copying our Instagram page now to the way it looks, and it's weird because people are falling for these scams.
Bro, I did it one day. Remember, I tagged you with something.
Oh yeah, you did that.
I tagged you on something. I tagged your personal page and then the HCX page, but it wasn't the HCX page.
Yeah.
I wasn't even following this page, but somehow it came up in my search to tag, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so I tagged it, thinking it was the right one, and you were like, yeah, it's the wrong one. And I went, and I'm like, it looks identical. How the hell is this even possible?
Oh, they're copying, man. So we get like emails and phone calls. Hey, I just got scammed by da 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 da. Well, I'll give you a story for one. So the whole Zeke Devon one, right? Some guy comes in. He kind of looking a little odd. So I'm like, can I help you? He's like, oh, I'm just waiting for my boy Zeke. I know somebody named Zeke. So in my head, I'm like, oh, he knows fucking Zeke. He goes, I'm waiting for him to come. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I go, I do my thing in the back. And then, he leaves. And so he ended up coming back like an hour or two later. And then, like, he's looking at some of the parts. I'm like, what's up, bro? You need some help? He's like, yeah, do you got this? Blah, blah. And then, like, he shows me the thing. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? He shows me this Facebook page. It's a picture it's one of my pictures, but my name is Zeke Devon. And the guys, whoever on the other side of that page is still messaging him. And I'm like, look, bro, this is my phone right here. I'm like, you're getting scammed right now. And he's like, oh, it's because I'm a felon. And so I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you just got scammed. And so, yeah, that's just one of the, stories. But people are literally against it. Bro, when they tell you sending discreet to your door, that's a automatic flag.
Yeah, red flag.
Or when a $10,000 gun is only $500, motherfucker, red flag.
Dude, you'd be surprised how many DMs I get from people. Hey, man, I'm finally going to get an Atlas. I found one for $999. And I'm like, yeah. No, you didn't. They're like, no, man, there's this gun shop in wherever. They got one up here for this. And they said if I buy it online, they'll ship it to my FFL. No, they won't.
Get fucked.
Yeah, you're going to get a Glock, bro.
Yeah, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah, you probably ain't getting shit. Better hope you used an Amex or something. You can dispute that charge easy.
100%.
But, dude, this has been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to tag all the real social medias in all this. And dude, we definitely got to do this again, man.
For sure, man. Just let me know.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Y'all stay safe out there.
Later, brother.
All right, peace.
That was Hav with HTX. Super cool dude. He's got a great story, man. It's a think about being a break dancer and traveling the world for 25 years, representing the U.S. and all these other countries, and then opening one of the most influential brands in the gun industry and meeting all these celebrities and making these crazy guns for them. I mean, it's insane. So if you're not paying attention to what they're doing, you should. Their new page is already up to like 60,000, but their old page was like damn near to 1 million or some shit. But they're super cool guys, really nice. They're from Houston, like me, HTown till we die. But they're coming up pretty quick. So make sure you check it out. If you're looking for something crazy, or you have an idea and you can't find anyone to do it, they're the people to do it. They do stuff, like I said, I saw some stuff in that back office I didn't think was possible. So go check them out. And if you made it this long, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. You're the reason I keep doing these shows. Starting to realize a lot of people listen to this thing. For instance, when I was at the Pan American Championship, I was approached by hundreds of people. I mean, literally, damn near everyone on the range. Like, hey, we love your podcast. Some of them are speaking to me in languages that I totally don't understand, but they had a translator with them. It was really cool. So I love it. I appreciate it. And you do be doing me a huge favor, as well as other listeners, if you go and like, subscribe on YouTube, and leave a review on the podcast wherever you listen. I appreciate it. If you made it this long, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the range.